This just in, breaking news. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
No bullshit.
You want no bullshit? Want no bullshit?
Yeah.
I'm internet famous right now.
Congratulations.
No, don't thank me,
Oh,
man.
it's that kind of fame.
You need a fucking IQ test to have a Twitter account is my supposition, Red.
That's how I got one?
You don't got one. Take yours away, man. What's 9 times 6, bitch?
Some numbers.
Take it away. Nobody can count. Listen, you liberals. I'm not on your side. I just at Cobo Hall monitoring it because I don't trust the Democratic machine here in Michigan. I don't trust Republicans either. Hey, all you conservative whack jobs, I'm not taking money. I was just there monitoring the election, and I'm going to prove to you that you should all just go back to your warm baby bottles and be quiet. This thing's done. It's done. Okay, but first, No Bullshit News Hour Facebook Live brought to you by American Coney Island, Detroit's oldest family-run restaurant and birthplace of the famous Detroit Coney dog, chili, mustard, and Vidalia onions. Downtown at the corner of Lafayette and Michigan Avenue. Can't miss it. It's the red, white, and blue building. It's clean. It's clean. It's going to be open for Thanksgiving.
How'd it get so clean?
Because the boss likes it that way.
She's got a good person there cleaning it.
They invented the chili dog, the Coney dog. If you don't want to go out for the holidays, remember, go to AmericanConeyIsland.com and have a Coney kit delivered anywhere in the 50 states. I don't know about Puerto Rico.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Someone should ship some to their friends in Puerto Rico.
There you go. And listen, if you can't count, your voting machines are shit, you have no processes, call ADR.
Yeah.
Right? How to get it done. They are competent, honest, ethical, smart. 248-318-9424. Here's what they really do. They're experts in procurement, government compliance, information technology. Sound like anything to you? Huh?
Yeah.
The goddamn election. What a mess. We warned you. Barry Ellentuck at ADR. 248-318-9424. Again, honest, ethical, smart.
Call him. You good?
Yeah. I like that little music, though.
Oh,
you always end it a little too early.
I don't end it too early.
All right, listen here.
It just ends too early.
Listen, the rant here. Let's get it started. It's brought to you by our good friend Luke Nowacki. You all know him, right? Pinnacle Wealth. Overreaction is not a strategy for the long-term investor. Look what the market's doing. You make sense of it. Get something tailored to you, your life, your expectations. Your bank, your pension fund, your municipality. Luke Nowacki does it all. He does it all. He's at 248-663-4748. Go ahead, hit me.
I just get thrown
And
off.
the music
Securities
stuff.
and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates Inc. Member FINRA-SIPC. Royal Alliance Associates Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Royal Alliance Associates Inc.
All right.
Now listen to me. President Donald J. Trump and the Little Three of Michigan.
The Great Cheeto.
That's Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, and Attorney General Dana Nessel have one thing in common. All four possess an astounding degree of self-importance. None of them seems to think the law of the land applies to their political whim and fancy. For his part, Trump has filed suit in Michigan citing irregularities, incompetence, and unlawful vote counting, specifically in Wayne County, specifically at Cobo Hall, where the Detroit absentee ballots were counted. What's it called? TCF, THC?
Yeah, whatever.
TCF.
It's fucking Cobo Hall.
Yeah.
As you know, I was working there as a ballot inspector. More importantly, this is more important, I was working as a nonpartisan reporter, keeping tags on your election because nobody's going to fucking steal it if I'm standing there. Not a liberal, not a conservative. The person I voted for didn't win either. That's my business. I repeat, there was no appreciable fraud that would swing 145,000 now votes to Trump. Were there backdating of ballots? The city admits there was, saying the last-minute envelopes were time-stamped in ink, but not in the computer by harried clerks. So they inputted the dates at Cobo. Republican poll watchers there agreed with the process. I know, remember, because I talked with them. They were on the show last week. Not a sucker here, people. Listen to me now. The filer of the complaint said she witnessed this thousands of times. Thousands?
Thousands?
You know how many ballots we processed?
I would have no idea.
In 10 hours. And the Republicans were around our table because we were so efficient. In 10 hours, we processed 1,351.
Wow.
What, not thousands? What was y'all doing?
We were working our ass off. So somebody comes in at 9 in the morning and sees this happen thousands of times. I don't see it. Were ballots run multiple times through the tabulator? Could be.
Did you see any?
I did not. They do jam, right? But I did not see them running them through and through, and you know I was there. Did dead people vote in this election? Yup. Sure did. We're going to bring you that. The most famous dead vote, red, was on it. But Don won't win. And the reason's simple. There's no way to track an invalid vote once it's been tabulated. Once a ballot is accepted in the electronic poll book, its ballot number from the paper is detached from the ballot itself. The ballot is now anonymous and unable to be tracked forevermore. Think about that. It's something like a raffle ticket without a serial number. Let that soak in. You couldn't possibly pull a fraudulent vote if you don't know which one it is. Okay? As for that, here's the big one. 137,000 ballots coming into Cobo at 4 a.m. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That's what the story was a week ago. It didn't happen. Fairy tale. I was at the loading bay doors at the time. Don't believe me? Fine. But check the vote totals from Wednesday to Thursday. Was there a 137,000 vote spike? No.
No, I mean, there was the one thing about...
I'll get to it.
Okay.
But in Detroit?
No.
No. That's just math, people. So where did this rumor start about these 138,000, 137, 136,000 votes?
In the pot smoker's basement.
No, bro. Close. It started near Flint. It's always fucking Flint. It started in Shiawassee County. An election worker there sent the county's unofficial vote counts to Michigan officials early Wednesday morning so they could get it to the media. You know what I mean? So they could get it to you. And they accidentally reported that Biden's tally in Shiawassee County, population 72,000, that Biden's tally in Shiawassee County, dig it, listen, was 153,710. What was it really? 15,371. So about 20 minutes later, realizing they added an extra zero in an unofficial count, they fixed it. It was a typo, an extra zero. Subtract 15,000 from 153,000. What do you get? 138,000. Voila.
Yeah.
But somehow this turns into fraud at Cobo. And I'm not seeing it? Bullshit. The truth is, it's over in Michigan. Trump's down more than 145,000 votes with no way of finding them. So somebody please tell him.
You do it.
I'm doing it and I'm telling you all. But dig this now. Now hear me. The questions posed by dissenters, the people that filed affidavits, they're valid. And they should be examined and answered fully. They really should, since this is the way elections will now be conducted. Why was the backdating of ballots allowed at Cobo? They should have been put in a bin. The city admits they did it. Why are dead people still on the qualified voter list? Why were there more than 500,000 absentee ballot applications sent to people who no longer live at the address?
Yeah, clean it up.
This is fucking unacceptable.
Clean it up. You don't have these conspiracies.
Yes. Now, you watch this show, this program, you know we warned Secretary Benson about her sloth and her emptied and cliched answers to the problems of the bloated qualified voter list. You saw it. They were mailed to my house. Instead of tough questions and explicit answers, Benson chose to appear on news programs that offered watermelon soft questions. So now her dodging and her posturing comes home to roost. Look at what's going on out there. Consider the story of William Bradley Sr., the 118-year-old Detroit resident who voted by absentee ballot, the most famous vote in Michigan. Turns out Mr. Bradley died in '84. His vote from the grave has been dismissed as a clerical error by Benson's office. That's nice, and it's a fucking lie. It turns out that his son, William T. Bradley, he's not even junior, mistakenly returned his father's absentee ballot application and ballot instead of his own. Either that happened, or the clerk made the initial mistake, never fixed it, and it snowballed from there. So, why did no media organization question the fact that a man who died 36 years ago is still a qualified voter? Mm-hmm. How? Or the fact that Bradley Jr.'s vote should be considered invalid because a dead man did vote, no matter what PolitiFact said. I called the writer of PolitiFact who called the claim that a dead man voted false, to tell her it's true and that she should correct her fact-checking, and I'm still waiting for the fucking call back. I guess it doesn't fit.
What did they claim? What did PolitiFact claim?
I'll quote you the headline. No, a dead voter named William Bradley didn't vote in Detroit. Red?
That's a lie.
Boom. It's inaccurate.
Very
misleading too.
You got scared that the right-wing conspiratorialists, this was right. This was right. Mm-hmm. Okay. But good luck finding the dead man's vote, Don. It's now anonymous. The tab's off the top. It's in a stack of 167,000 others. Do you all see what I'm getting at?
Yes.
Michigan voters passed an amendment to the state constitution 2 years ago allowing absentee voting for whatever reason you want. There was plenty of time to prepare. Benson did not.
Laser focus.
Laser focus. Here's what she did do. She attempted an 11th hour abrogation of the Second Amendment banning firearms from the state's voting precincts. She, along with the Attorney General, were slapped down in state court twice.
Stupid.
If Benson was really so concerned about public safety, why were there no metal detectors at Cobo Hall protecting the ballot inspectors? How did the large and unruly crowd on Wednesday even get in there? Now, as for Nessel, oh, Dana.
Sounds like a chocolate bar.
She hasn't gotten a single conviction in the Flint water poisoning and managed to get the case tossed out of court about the MSU president lying about knowing what super creep Larry Nassar was up to. But what Nessel did do is send a cease and desist letter to an obscure blogger who posted a conspiratorial video about a Detroit election workers training session replete with eerie music. I watched it 3 times, haven't gone through it. There wasn't much to the video, and it didn't get much traction, but it has now, thanks to Nessel's bullying. Freedom of the press, madam. Freedom of speech. It's called the First Amendment. They teach it in 5th grade.
She's also creating a red herring.
Jesus, where'd you go to law school? And Governor Whitmer. She doubled as a national co-chair for Joe Biden and used the highest office in this state as a campaign perch. You all know that's true. During that time, she illegally suspended the state constitution. That's what the Supreme Court said, not me, insisting it was necessary to protect the people from COVID. And yet, the thing she actually had control over as the governor, the condition of nursing homes, the schools and colleges, and whether they will be able to convene or not. She kicked that to them to decide. The jails and the unemployment system, they remain an unmitigated disaster. Once the big orange is gone, and he will be gone, and he just dropped his suit
In Arizona, yeah.
dropped it. So it's coming down to Cobo Hall. once this is finished, the attention in Michigan will turn to the little 3. And they've got 2 years until their own election cycle. Less talk shows, ladies. More work. We're dying out here. Fix the election system. Just fix
The shit. And calibrate your laser, because it's apparently very off.
Yeah, laser focus.
It seems like they're creating a lot more problems that are almost inviting this. And Detroit, with its history, it's kind of an easy city to pick on. Not saying that's right or wrong. It's just an easy city to pick on nationally.
Okay, so
But they create a lot of these problems that they're now fighting against. I wonder if Nestle, you said she did charges against this blogger? Is that what you're saying?
no, you got a cease and desist.
Cease and
letter.
desist. Thank you. Okay. Is she going to charge William T. Bradley for committing a felony and voting under his
She
dead
better
father's
not
name?
mess with that
Of
sweet
course
man.
not.
He didn't do anything.
Didn't do nothing. But what he thought he was
Voted.
supposed to do, vote.
On someone else's ballot.
So now we got a flurry of lawsuits, right?
So a lot of them. Well, yeah.
From observers. Okay.
Some crazy claims. 234 pages of affidavits for Detroit.
Everything from like workers being told not to verify ballot signatures.
Sure.
Process. When ballots came from people not in the electronic book, workers assigned to the were assigning the ballot to a random name of a person who didn't vote, which I can tell you is impossible. It's impossible because it's all barcodes and electronified. I did it. If it doesn't show up, it doesn't show up. I don't know where you would be inputting names. It doesn't make any sense.
SpongeBob SquarePants then voted in Detroit.
Ballots arrived at the at Cobo. One guy alleges 40,000 ballots arrived early Wednesday morning from out-of-state vehicles after officials said all of them had already arrived and that all of these were allegedly for Biden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you would know.
Yeah.
And of course, Biden won Detroit by like 92%.
Yeah, and there was another affidavit that said that guy saw a bunch of military ballots come in, and 80% of them were voted straight ticket Democrat or just had Joe Biden on there. But would a poll watcher be able to see who was voted for?
I don't even know how you would tally it. It's not like, okay, this batch and a big number comes up on the screen. 80% for Biden. I don't know how that would happen.
Detroit, just because, his assumption was they're military ballots. They tend to be more conservative, which is probably true on a national basis.
And where
but
was this? Was this in Cobo?
This is one of the affidavits. Yeah, allegedly, yeah, according to the affidavit.
How would you know?
Yeah.
Unless you're working the machine.
And there's a couple people that voted that were 120 years old, if you want to explain that one.
Okay, so, well, let's get Dolores. And Dolores Andrews. Hey, Dolores.
Hey.
Dolores and I worked at Counting Board 11. Dolores is aces. Dolores is cool. Dolores works these elections for the last decade.
Wow. Thank you, Dolores, for doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how was Charlie as a captain?
Very good.
Hey.
Very.
Was I sometimes I didn't lose it, but I was a little bit
He's intense.
intense.
Yes. And we all were. We all were.
Good.
It was a very important election, and we knew it.
And remember when our count went off by 2?
Yes.
And then we had to go through like hundreds and hundreds of ballots to find out which ones we didn't scan.
Exactly.
And then the computer had one more than we had, and then we had to dig back through the boxes of
Yes.
1,351,
Yes.
and we did it,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Hell yes, we did it.
Okay, so Dolores, here's the thing. Here's what I want to ask you. Since did anybody take your affidavit?
No.
No. So, Dolores, did you see fraud?
Not at all.
Basically, I want to say this. We did what we did. We're not looking at the military ballots. We are not we're looking at the ink stamps, but we're not up there when they're saying put the name in. But we're handling the ballots.
Right.
The main
How would they know military ballots? I guess, I don't know, but no.
Okay.
No.
So what happened from 3 in the morning to 5 in the morning? Did you see a big truck? Tell me what you saw from 3 to 5.
A couple of ballots trickling down inside. Very few.
You didn't see no
Our
trucks.
Pardon me, no. The last batch that we did may have been under 20 ballots, maybe?
It was 11.
11. Okay. I knew it wasn't many.
It was part of that 60 boxes that came in. My estimate is about somewhere between 5 and 10,000 came in. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, we're being told 40. And by the way, even if there were 40,000 coming in, that's where they're supposed to go. And you wouldn't know they're fraudulent. And you wouldn't fucking know how many Biden got because they're distributed between 150 tables.
Right.
Right.
So a lot of the fight now hinges on poll watchers. Did you think there was lack of access for poll watchers on any side?
Not at all. Not at all. There were people there watching us like a hawk.
Why are you chuckling?
I mean, because it is what it is. There was no room for error. You had people watching you from both sides.
And remember the election officials kept yelling at us for like talking with them and cracking jokes?
Yes. We had to stick to the task. Don't be friendly. Don't do nothing. Just do it. I'm like, okay.
A little levity is going to make people work harder.
Well,
Right.
now I know
So
why,
get
though.
Food in a working toilet.
I know why, because it's this conflict, because they're partisan, right?
Sure.
There's a Democrat, there's a Republican.
There's a point for it,
And there's
yeah.
there's the government. And then nobody wants to gather evidence on each other. So don't give him anything to write in his notebook. I'm like, fuck it, I'll tell him everything. Remember, there was like 24, because they were really fascinated by us. Remember, they're like, you guys are ahead. You guys are setting a record. Wow, you're so good. And then I jumped up and I did my broken arm swinging thing like this. Remember that, Dolores? And they all looked at it and fucked off. It's like, get out and let us do work. Go find some bullshit to do.
They were complimenting you on the, efficiency and speed of your table. Apparently, y'all got down. They were impressed.
They were.
That's what we came to do, to get down.
So what do you make of all the claims and files that are being levied, Dolores? Just from someone else who has worked there.
Bullshit. I mean, it was too many checks and balances. I mean, it's crazy for them to be seeing all these different allegations, this, that, the other. No, none of that was there. None of that.
In your
we were taking care of business like we came to do. We had people that were there that were excited. We were, it was a good feeling to me. It was a part of history. We were making history. It was no time for bullshit.
And in your 10 years of working this and doing what you did, was this year any different?
Yes, because, it's a saying that they were saying in terms of the voters, to vote like your life depended on it. So we were down there taking care of business as though our life depended on it. This is history for me. This is something I sat down and told my grandchildren about.
Dolores, let me ask you this. You worked it for 10 years. Would you say, in your opinion, is this the best year as far as the organization, the process, getting it done?
Oh, yeah, because we had to do a training class. That training class was about 5 to 6 hours, I believe. And it was repetitions. They were going over and over and over again. So you knew what you were doing. You knew what you came for. It was no fraud, none of that. This is crazy.
Yeah, and Dolores, before I go into this, okay, so we're talking Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, the 3 to 5 area. It was so slow that they allowed people to take their phones out, right?
Yeah.
And said no photographs or video.
Right.
And you all brought your phones, and I'm like, what the fuck? I left mine in the car like they told me to.
Right. Because that was initially what they told us, no devices inside. But then they were able to let us use our phones, just no pictures, no videos, nothing of that nature.
And people took them, and there's dozens, hundreds, if not 1,000 pictures of nothing going on at that time. You know what I mean? There's a picture of it not happening.
Right,
So somebody give me a picture of one happening. I'm only saying this. Specifically, it went from 138,000 last week to 40,000 to tens of thousands. You see how it's starting to...
There's a few hundred now, ain't it?
It's growing, yeah.
Well, let me read you this dude. I'm not calling him a liar. I mean,
He's maybe just mistaken.
he can say, he can say what he wants, but we were there too. So his name's Andrew Cito. Okay? He says, according to his affidavit, each counter compares the ballot to an electronic database from his or her computer to determine if the ballot correlates to a person who's registered to vote. That's what we were doing, right?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so we did that through the night. Then he writes this. At approximately 4:30 a.m., that was the half hour before everybody made the bum rush to the COVID escalator. Remember that?
Right.
Okay. he says, I thought everyone was going home after our shift had ended. That's right. Then he says, at about this time, he heard other challengers say, hearsay here, I heard other challengers say that several vehicles with out-of-town license plates pulled up to the TCF Center a little before 4:30 a.m. and unloaded boxes of ballots.
Bullshit.
Okay. Now, the Republican, Bill Hartman, last week said he saw a van that was clearly marked Board of Elections. Remember that? Okay, so we got an issue here. And then we got this one. At approximately 4:30 a.m., tens of thousands of ballots were brought in and placed on 8 long tables. Unlike the other ballots, those boxes were brought in from the rear of the room. There was only one way into the room, and there was a loading bay door in the back.
Right. Right.
You sure some of these observers wasn't going to the bathroom taking a puff or two? You know, sometimes, you know.
Dolores,
Yes.
were you?
I'm just asking. I mean,
No.
sometimes I see stuff when I smoke.
No. There wasn't a ton of ballots that came at that time.
It did not. It's nonsense. That's what I'm talking about. So all my friends who are like, smell something, conspiracy, go look. It's cool. Like I said, we need to answer all the questions.
Yeah.
Me as the independent. I wasn't a Republican observer. I don't work for a media organization. I work for you. So don't post on Twitter and shit that normally LeDuff's a legitimate guy. I guess everybody has their price. Fuck you.
No.
Because me and Dolores were there doing the work and understanding the process when you're too lazy to do it. If you're all upset with it, work. Right, Dolores?
Of course.
And they was paying y'all pretty decent for the work. That's the funny part.
Really wasn't.
I mean, you know.
Really was. Let me think here. If you were, they paid you $600 a day, a shift, right?
Right.
If you worked 12 hours, what'd you make?
Why do you give me math questions on air like this? You know I don't do the math. Let me go on my calculator. I ain't
Okay,
got
we'll
to.
come back to Rick.
Yes, come back to me.
No fraud down there. It was no fraud.
Well, at
we
least-
was down there doing what we were supposed to do. We're excited. We're making history. I mean, it's bullshit.
50,
Bullshit.
it's $50 an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$50 an
What
hour.
do you mean it's not decent pay?
Dude,
I drive people around all day and barely may get $10 an hour. What are you talking about?
then first of all, then why didn't you fucking do your job?
Because you were down there.
Yeah, because I was down there. See, you leave it to somebody else. Number two, we didn't get no overtime.
You got $50 an hour.
Didn't get no overtime.
You know what I can do with $50?
You should have done the fucking job. There, you know. Hey, Dolores, tell them what the nickname for those checks are.
Oh, not the check.
Huh?
The stimulus check?
Yeah,
No.
the second stimulus check, Red. He said you had to work for him.
Oh, wow. No wonder I missed it.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to say this, Dolores. He said the ballots arrived at approximately 4:30 a.m., but I specifically noticed that every ballot I observed was cast for Biden. I don't know how he would observe it.
I ain't seen that X-ray.
First of all,
Yeah.
when I went and voted, I could barely read the damn thing because the print was so small. So what was this dude running around to every single ballot? Because he couldn't have seen it from no distance. I mean, the print ain't for blind people.
Well,
Definitely.
Let me go like this, too. Yeah, Biden won Detroit by 220,000 votes. And Trump almost doubled his Detroit tally from the last time. Of course they're going to be for Biden. Use your heads.
Yeah.
Use your heads. What happened to Nowak? He left?
I think he had his appointment. Yeah.
Ah, fucking shit. All right, Dolores, I'm gonna give you the last word on this. What happened to Cobo?
Pardon me?
I'm going to give you the last word since everybody is filing an affidavit. Here's your affidavit. What is it you want to tell the public? Raise your right hand.
Okay.
Okay. I solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
on the life of my child.
on the life of my one child.
What about the other one?
I only have one.
Okay. Stick a needle in my eye.
Come on. Think of these.
That I will tell the truth and uphold the Constitution of the United States.
All of that.
No,
All of that.
say it. Say it.
I like her version. All of that.
What happened in terms of the ballots from 3 to 5 a.m.? What happened down there?
There were very few that came in. We got about 11 ballots at our table. We processed those very carefully, and that was that. I don't know where they're getting it from that all these freaking ballots came in between those hours, because the shit did not happen. It didn't happen.
That's it. That's it. I appreciate what went on. Nobody's harder on this town than me. I've written the stories about the dead people, about the backdating of your birthdays, about the people over 113 years old. I know that it's fucked up year after year. Dolores knows it because she does it too.
Right.
We went to look. We went to look. This was important. We didn't do this for anybody but you. So fine. That's all I got to say about it. I'm telling you, it's over here. There's no way, right, Dolores? Remember, you were the one inspecting the ballots when they came out of the envelope. They no longer had a number where you could track them, right?
Exactly.
There's no way to find a fraudulent ballot. It's done.
And I just want to add this, and I tip my hat to Janice Renfrey, because as far as the COVID thing, everything was organized. You know, the social distancing as much as we could, the sterilization, all of that. I appreciated all of that. You had your checkpoint, your temperature check, all of that. So
Yeah, that was bullshit. Nobody even checked my COVID paper. There were no... I could have brought an AK-47 in there.
Charlie, but I was good, though, knowing that I was COVID-free. I had mine, and my stuff said negative, so I was good.
See, if they didn't check your COVID papers, I guarantee you at least 3 observers had at least 4 grams of weed on them and took weed breaks, and that's where these stories come from.
Well, also the stories are this. Okay, look at people wheeling in these coolers and shit.
Yeah.
That's because they didn't fucking really feed you. So everybody's bringing in a picnic. There were no coffee. That's what was in the coolers. You don't think LeDuff's looking in the cooler? Hey, Dolores, those last 2 hours, I was wandering around, wasn't I?
Yeah. We was wondering, what the hell is Charlie? Oh, he's over there. I said, over there fucking with me.
Charlie's doing his reporting. Everybody knew Charlie was in there, including the Republicans. If you saw some fucking shit at the door where I was standing.
Right.
Oh, come on. Okay.
He's gonna peep it, anything.
Okay.
Would love to finish chit-chatting with you guys, but I got to hit it. I'm out. Love you guys. Stay safe.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you, Dolores. I mean, it's not the most perfect election. Mistakes are going to be made. Does that equal fraud?
Okay, let me go like this. Let me amend my thing. Look for it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Don't look for it on a big ballot dump. That didn't happen.
I have no problem. Any claim that wants to be made, well, everyone will look into it, right? I mean, every claim gets looked into. That's why the affidavit.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but so many of these seem to be easily debunked very quickly.
Well, first of all, the dude said, I heard from somebody else.
Hearsay.
That's high school shit. What is that? I heard Timmy doesn't like you. What the hell? Did you talk to Timmy, or did you just go sock him in the face?
Okay, and let me real quick, and then we got to go on to the most famous ballot in Detroit.
Yeah.
Remember, the boxes are locked at 8. They're at the satellite polling places. They go pick them up. They do the rounds. They pick them up. They take them back to the city clerk's office. Right? When they get dropped, before they get dropped off to the city clerk at the satellite offices, they're stamped in ink. They're supposed to also have the date electronically inputted, a double check. Okay. They weren't. They're down there at the clerk's office. barcoding them, separating them by precinct, bundling them up, and then shipping them to Cobo. That takes a few hours.
Yes.
Naturally, we were there at 3 because a few are going to drift in. Did people forget to put the date in? Obviously, everybody agrees on that.
Yeah.
How many? Now we're hearing 40. Now she's saying thousands. You didn't do thousands yourself. You couldn't do thousands.
Yeah.
It's too much work to do. Okay. What was the dead count you were telling me before the show?
Oh, the number of dead people that voted? I wanted to say it was 25, 26 is the one I
Who
saw.
came up with this? Explain it to the
I
listeners.
was in one of the affidavits. They had Kayleigh McEnany had 234 pages of affidavits, which is fine. I look into it. But once again,
Trump spokeswoman waved them.
Spokeswoman, yeah, I'm sorry.
And said Detroit had, you go ahead, spitball. People.
It was a handful of dead people that voted, but they all happened to have the same birth date. They were all 120 years old. That birth date was January 1st, 1900.
Yeah. And what is the reasoning for that? I'll tell you. All of these things probably, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to guess right now. They registered to vote either Monday or that day on Tuesday.
Yeah, 28,000 same-day registrations in the state of Michigan. State of Michigan, not Detroit, but yeah.
28,000 people on Election Day registered. You don't think 28 instances across the state, a clerk forgot to put your birthday in? Very, very
Simple mistake.
That's like 0.1%.
Yeah.
It's a rounding error.
Yeah.
It's minuscule.
Rounding error, yeah.
It's minuscule. We're talking 145,000 votes. So what they do in that case, because the vote won't go through, and we all want the votes to go through, they give them a holding date of January 1st, 1900. That's the explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can do this as citizens. If it's not all filled out, we can't count it. Or we can do something like that and go figure it out later, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair that a person's vote disappears because the clerk made the mistake.
Sure.
Red?
Right. I don't either. I mean, it's all about every vote supposed to be counted. Okay, a birthday, can liable to be a mistake. I mean, we already see they don't really check the birthday. So, there's no reason that it should be dismissed because of a clerical error on the part of the clerk.
Okay, now, speaking of birthdays, Red, go ahead. Introduce this.
Well, since we had the most famous vote here, seeing as they said a 118-year-old man voted, and then PolitiFact said no, they didn't vote, and everybody made a big issue of it, and our grand style of no bullshit news, we decided to go talk to the actual man's son. So that's what I did. I went to find out is it true.
You're a comedian.
Yep.
And an Uber driver.
Yep.
And you actually got off your ass, found the guy, and talked to him?
Why not?
Exclusive, no bullshit news hour. Gets off his ass and talks to the dead voting guy, dude. Way to go. William T. Bradley. His
That's right.
father, William Bradley.
That's right.
Born in 1902, died in 1984, and is still a registered voter. Living at the same address. Action.
When you saw this first happen, what was your, and the news coming out and all these people, what was your...
I haven't found none of it on the news. The only way I found about it was through phone calls.
Okay.
I got a phone call from Guy Gordon, News 4, Channel 7. He got his own radio show.
Okay.
And I got a call from a guy, a couple of guys from New York, and one guy from the New York Times. He gave me the information out to the city clerk building to call. So I called on there, and she told me everything was okay. She said, "Don't worry about it because we go by your signature and your date of birth."
So did she ever address or answer why he was still on the road in the first place?
It was just that she told me everything was all right, and she didn't want to go no further. She said that was it.
But did they explain to you that you technically didn't get your vote, that it went under your date?
No, they didn't tell me none of that.
Yeah, and that's what we was figuring out.
My vote should be valid because that's the only application I sent in. I didn't never send my dad's in.
Yeah, you never sent your dad's in,
No.
but somewhere down there in the mix, they registered your vote under your dad, and that's how all the hoopla got started about your dad voted.
Okay.
So knowing that they did that, and that's how it went, how do you feel about basically your dad ended up getting your vote? Even though you didn't vote for him, they registered your vote under him, and it looks like you didn't vote.
Oh man, that's messed up. I mean, I can't do nothing about that because that was a technical error. I mean, you know, like somebody who was reading that read the wrong name, read the right name and made the wrong vote.
Entry.
Right, your entry.
So even though you voted, you didn't get your vote because somebody down there put it under your dad.
Okay.
And if you could say something to them, what would you tell them? How you know, your perspective on that?
I really couldn't tell them much because I can't see what went wrong. I don't know. I wouldn't know by me just explaining it to me. I don't know if they made a mistake with my name and put his name in the ballot instead of me, or my name in the ballot instead of him. I don't know which way it would have went, you know, so I wouldn't know what to say.
Okay.
You know, it's just an error that they got to, you know, figure out because they the ones handling the ballots.
And let me ask you this, do you feel they should have explained it to you when you called down there?
Yeah, well, I thought she would explain a little bit more to me, but it's like, but she's so sure about their system. She just told me that don't worry about that. There's no problem. She said because we go by your signature and we go by your date of birth.
Well, I think it'd be a problem they didn't have a dead man vote.
Right.
Do you agree?
I agree.
And I asked him to make sure, because a lot of folks, you know, the ones that want to admit that this actually exists, wanted to say he did this. They putting it on him. So I made sure to ask him, what did he do with his father's absentee ballot? He clearly stated, I threw it away because my father is William Bradley, and I know I'm William T. Bradley. So I threw it away. I never filled this application out.
Well, back to your very first point, this shouldn't even be an issue because his father shouldn't even be getting an application, much less a ballot.
That's the thing. And look, he could have made
that's the annoying thing about it.
He could have made a mistake. Just because he said he didn't make a mistake, that's not the point. Listen to the man, though. He understands. Yeah. Unlike all the rest of you, he's the aggrieved party.
Right.
And he says, technical error. I could understand how it happens, right? But here's the reaction from the government. They lied to him.
Yeah.
It's all fixed.
For no reason.
Don't worry about it. Our processes, no.
Laser focus.
Laser focus. They lied to him. That's the most, what'd you call it, the most sacred?
The smallest lie about the most sacred thing.
Yeah, there's no reason to lie about it.
Here's what the director of elections said about it. No ballot for a 118-year-old Mr. Bradley was ever requested, received, or counted. A man with a nearly identical name requested a ballot and voted properly in both the primary and general elections. When his ballot was initially logged, however, it was incorrectly attributed to William Bradley, born 118 years ago through a clerical error. It's never been fixed.
Yeah, he's still on the voter rolls now. Me and Charlie just looked at it minutes ago. William Bradley, who would be 118, is currently, at this very moment as we speak, still registered to vote.
And I don't want to...
No, you don't want to clear them too quick because then there'll be another conspiracy theory.
Well, do it, because here's the thing.
Wait a month.
It's not a conspiracy theory. A guy found it legitimately. Everybody goes away. Everybody lays down. USA Today, PolitiFact. The fact is, dude, whoever you are, I forget your name, it's correct. It's correct. And you heard it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
A dead man voted.
Yep.
So fix the shit.
Fix the shit. There's no getting around it. I mean, yeah, I want to say this, not just to the county clerk now, but for like the last 5 or 6, because this dude been on the rolls for 36 years. So what in the hell is y'all doing?
Red, did you ever think of asking him if he would tell us who he voted for?
Actually, I did. And I asked him who I thought his father would vote for if he was alive.
Oh, give it to us.
He said that his father was always straight ticket Democrat, a plant worker from right here in Pole Town, Detroit, and that he is straight ticket Democrat. So,
No surprise.
yeah, not at all.
So nothing lost.
Nothing lost.
So just
it's
admit
nothing
it.
there.
Admit it
Yeah.
and fix it.
Yeah.
And lying to the guy. That's what pisses me
That's
off.
the worst part.
And all the media laid down like dogs to make it go away. I think it's healthy.
And this probably exists everywhere. This ain't just in Detroit.
Good point.
This is everywhere. So,
Well, the Democrats, tell me, the election officials, I don't need to go into who they are, they're loath to take people off the rolls. And this goes back to Jim Crow. This goes back to the history of this country, poll tax, literacy tests, trying to,
Carnival games,
strip somebody of their
Yeah.
rights. Okay, now, on the other side, the conservatives, you don't want a national ID card, do you? That's a way to solve it. Social number, passport number, maybe even biometrics. That way you wouldn't get illegal immigrants working here. You wouldn't have voter fraud from dead people. We're at a moment now how you want to solve it. But I'm going to tell you right now. It's Joe Biden's. Because you can't go back and find the invalid votes. You must show massive fraud. So far we're hearing, even if it was 40,000 showed up to Cobo, you don't know those are fraudulent, so that's not going to work.
Right.
Even if there were a couple of thousand that were post-dated, that's not going to have a judge call for a new election. It's not going to happen. That's the way it works. We've got, what's the date today?
Friday the 13th.
This thing, 2 weeks after the election, it must be certified from the Board of Canvassers. I talked to people at the Board of Canvassers so far, and I talked to the Republicans. So far, full steam ahead. Just telling you. You don't got to tweet me, man. I'm your friend.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Do you think a lot, and I understand the anger from the Trump side. I honestly really do, because of how the count came in. Count them all up on election night. It trickles in for another 4 days.
And an extra zero.
Well, sure. I mean, a lot of it is messed. There's a lot of errors.
Yes.
But there's not, in the grand scheme of things, of 50 million votes, it's a very small number. My question is, can we fix this so maybe we can get all the votes counted so we don't have to wait until Election Day to start scanning the ballots like Florida does it? I think Texas does it. All those Colorado, who's been doing mail-in for a long time, Oregon, they can count them. They can, before it comes in, they keep the totals secret,
the tallies up,
so it doesn't mess with the Election Day voters, which is brilliant.
As I said,
there's so many better ways to do this that would alleviate a lot of the pain and the anger and the errors.
But this is us. So as I said last week, you only need 24 hours to get them all prepped, and then you can run them through the machine. Whatever. We got a special dispensation from the legislature for 10 hours.
To prepare them, yeah.
I said 24 would be better, and if there's a big hard-on about sanctity of our election, there's the compromise. You don't need to keep a running total if there's some reason you think fraud's going to be injected. 10's not enough. Me, your brother, doing work, I would say 24 is sufficient.
Okay.
There's a good compromise. Let's find one.
Yeah.
But the bigger deal, Madam Benson, if you didn't dodge us, the question I was going to have for you is, in your 2 years, how many ineligible voters have you removed from the qualified voter list? Never heard you answer that. I've heard excuses of why you can and stuff we're going to do in the future, but you owe us that.
We know William Bradley is still on there.
Hey, everybody, this is a sharp-ass show. Mark Smart, Red Smart, Karen Smart.
Good job, Red, going down there talking to him.
Thank you. The guy was a really nice
Like
guy.
a nice guy, yeah.
You could tell he's just the average guy. He's doing what his patriotic duty, and what pisses me off, and I'm gonna just put it out there, is the fact that you brushed him off and lied to him.
Yeah.
In this country, we as men and women have two things: our name and our goddamn vote.
he really strikes me as a guy who does not want to be in the middle of all this shit either.
Well, I asked him. He said he never done media. He thought, was kind of leery of ever being on media. But when he came to this, he had no problem because it was something that's important. And he didn't want to be the person or one of the people to cause an issue like what's basically happened with the election.
Now look how the guy handled himself. Mm-hmm. He said technical error. He's not going ape shit. He's in the middle of it. I suggest we follow his lead. Great American right there. Now, Red's segment, as always, brought to you by Good Helpers, Heating, Cooling, Labor Services. 313-270-3600. Licensed and professional. Commercial, residential. No job too big, no job too small. Discounts for new construction, HVAC installs, and also for nonprofit groups, houses of worship. 313-270-3600. Good Helpers, where good help is not hard to find.
Yeah, and check them out on Facebook. They got a Facebook page too. So.
Okay, now, is Mark there?
He's been sitting there patiently.
I know. I don't see him.
Very patient man.
I don't see him. Where is he at?
There he is.
Hey, what's up, bro? Check, sound check. Mannequin.
He'll be there. There, he's unmuting now.
Okay, hey Charlie.
How you doing, brother?
Mark. Hey.
It's Mark Delaire. He's a neighbor of mine, okay? now, here's the thing. Mark, what am I holding in my hand here? Let me set this up. This, Madam Governor, Madam Attorney General, see, fix this shit. We got real shit going on. Whitmer fired the director of the Unemployment Insurance Agency. After all the months of fuck-uppery and all of you people, my brothers and sisters, calling me help, she assured us it was getting fixed. Now, under the cover of the election, she dumps the guy because it's fucked up. COVID's back. We're going to get locked down, and it doesn't work. Mark, what am I holding in my hand?
Well, that was a bunch of mail that was delivered to a property that I own in Ferndale that I rent, addressed to multiple different people that were using my address over the course of a couple weeks.
Okay, pause.
Unemployment fraud.
Pause. Shake it off. Shake off the I'm on TV and I'm nervous crap. Okay. Your house was up on Zillow, right? What were you doing with your house?
Yeah, I put it for rent. I listed it for rent on Zillow.
Okay. So you listed on Zillow. When did you do it?
I did that probably about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And, I got a bunch of applicants, interviewed, selected a new tenant, and I took it down.
Okay. So you put it up during this time when you're up these 2 weeks about?
Yeah, it was when I listed it, I started going over there doing the fall cleanup. And I don't go over there very often, but I started checking the mailbox. Every time I go over there, I check the mailbox. I don't go over there that often. But since I was going over there kind of consistently over this couple weeks, I was checking the mailbox. I started getting all this mail. Again, I had only listed this on Zillow for maybe a day or two, and I started getting slammed with all this mail.
What
and every
mail?
time I kept going back there.
What's the fucking mail? What is this? What am I holding? I got a dozen. What is it?
Well, to me, it looks like unemployment benefits. Could be checks. There's debit cards. You could feel the debit cards in there.
So here's the thing. There's a hustle being run. Your house is listed. There's some scammers out there. An Eric, a Ronald a couple times, Jason, Dustin again, Eric, DeMarcus, Monisa. You started getting unemployment
benefits, basically.
Yeah,
that's what those are.
Which you can get in the form of a debit card.
Yes.
So basically what we would have here is you can't prove that you're a person, right? And the state says, okay, give us an address and we're going to mail you an ID number. Once you receive it, Go back online, log in that ID number, and we'll send you the debit cards to your home.
Mm-hmm.
We have no record of you. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to give you a number. Once you send the number back, we're going to send you a fucking card. Now we've got this hustle going on, and you can feel these cards.
Yeah.
Which, if they're backdated to April, you're talking 20 grand.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Is that about right, Mark?
I would say, and you know, the other thing too is I try to report this. You know, I called the state unemployment hotline, and they have an option for you to, if you want to report fraud, press this number. So I did. You know, it goes to this recording that says if you want to report fraud, go online to this website, and you know they give you the address and report it there. So okay, I did that. I went online, or tried to do that. I went online, and it only gives you a couple options of fraud. It says if somebody is using your name for unemployment, enter all this information here. Then it says if you're an employer and somebody is using your business for fraud, enter all this information here. Nowhere is there an option for me to say, hey, people are using my address for
false
fraud.
claim.
You know, so I can't even report this. I couldn't get anybody on the phone. I can't report it online. And I can't imagine I'm the only person that is having an address used in this capacity.
No, because we've seen them. They've actually busted a handful of people.
Yeah.
But, you know, with the number of envelopes that you've received, you know that more had to have been sent there, which meant they would have to retrieve them from that mailbox at some point.
That's correct. So I had a gap in a tenant. So the house has been empty for a few months, and I had not been checking the mailbox because I hadn't been going over there very often. Now I don't have any type of surveillance.
No ring
so
doorbell.
I have no recording of anybody.
Yeah.
But like I was telling Charlie, I believe those debit cards. You know, some of those envelopes had debit cards in them. Somebody was retrieving the mail at that address. So somebody was using my address, going to my house, taking mail out of my mailbox, and I just happened to intercept what Charlie has in his hands, which is a decent amount of mail.
And you know what? If there's like, I can feel three cards.
There's a
here.
lot, yeah.
That's I got at least 60 grand in my hand.
Lunch on you. Well, fuck it. Whitmore don't care. Well, actually, we. Lunch on you.
Mark, I know it's not your responsibility to do this, but have you ever thought of asking the letter carrier in your neighborhood, like, hey, I haven't checked my mail. Have you noticed that it gets taken out regularly, or have you asked neighbors if they've seen anybody coming up to the house?
How about a deer camera?
You know,
A trail cam.
I don't run into the mail carrier there very often because I don't live there. But that's a good. You know, maybe I should do that.
But it should. You know what? It shouldn't be your job to do that, but you are the man on the ground.
And it really, I mean, there's a lot of people that probably wouldn't even have taken the time to try to report this. They probably would just take them and throw them in the trash.
After they open them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wind this up. Watch this. Hey, Dana. Hey, Dum-Dum. Fix this shit. Fix this shit. The guy trying to get a hold of you. Hey, Whitmer, it doesn't work. And we're going to need these. We need another round. Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
We're going to get locked away. Fix that.
I got a question. I'm surprised the mail carrier themselves, because normally on the mail route it's the same carrier.
Yeah.
Didn't notice all these different names.
It ain't up to him. Stop it. I mean,
I'm just saying.
You're right, Charlie. It's not their job.
We found a
Right, it's not their
we found a
fault.
hustle that needs to get fixed, and let's stop it. Okay. Look. Here's the thing. You know what you should do, Mark? Mark.
What's that?
Sell the fucking place.
Well, I got a new tenant moving in, and we'll find out for sure if it's going to continue on with this fraud. You know,
Maybe tell your
tenant.
tenant if they want to buy. Right. That rates are at all-time lows. If your current mortgage is above 3.5, tell them, what are you waiting for, bro? Don't wait for a bogus unemployment check. There's better ways to save money.
Legal ways.
Currently at Hall Financial, almost 70% of all loans don't require an appraisal. Call Hall Financial today. What a segue.
It was brilliant.
If you qualify, see if you qualify for a no appraisal loan. If for some reason your loan does require an appraisal for the month of November only, Hall Finance is going to pay it for you up to $500. Huh? That's like working at Kobo, Red, and you don't have to do anything. Believe it or not, closing times have sped up again. Right now, the majority of loans at Hall Financial are closing in 10 business days or fewer, like one of the only businesses cranking it out. Just go to their website and click onto the Hall Financial link to get started. DavidHallMortgage.com. That's DavidHallMortgage.com or 248-308-5000. Hall Financial. Lower payments, better options, more personal attention. NMLS number 1467435. You're welcome, David. That was not only informational, it was humorous.
And I want to let you know, actually, I just found a new way to make some money. So I'll holler at you in a couple of weeks and let you know if I bought David's house.
That sounds on the up and up.
All right, Mark, I'll bring these back to you. Well, most of them. I'll bring most of them back to you.
Keep the cards.
Right? Red.
Without the cards.
Red's got a weed habit he's got to handle. He likes the good stuff.
Yeah. You don't know what this tax they charging on this marijuana, just how expensive a gram is now.
Yeah, man. Oh, one last thing about all this stuff. Just, I appear on Martha McCallum quite often, and like the problems she's having. The liberals call her a conservative boob, and the conservatives are calling her a traitor.
Turncoat.
And if you actually listen to, people on the cable news networks, she's one of the most reasonable and balanced personalities and journalists and hosts on there. Mm-hmm. That's why reason I do it.
I like her.
I do
good.
too. I think she's really reasonable.
I've talked about this before. It kind of drives me nuts because the pundits get labeled. You hear people on the left say, the media's terrible, Fox News is terrible, and then you hear the people on the right say, CNN, it's terrible, it's terrible. And you know what? Yeah, the pundits on there are fucking awful, and it is terrible. But there are some good reporters there.
And
there are.
And good, I wouldn't call Martha or Brent or, I wouldn't call them reporters.
Anchors.
Good interviewers.
Yeah, they're not pundits.
It's a good program,
yes.
Yeah. And they'll ask stuff that you wouldn't think would be on Fox because of the reputation.
I like Cavuto. I think Brett Baer is good. I like Martha.
Okay, let's get out of here. Let's do some quick news. Let's wrap this shit up. We're going to give Red the last word here, too. COVID's raging. The police and fire are getting no battle pay. Fire's not even working with a contract.
Yeah, no movement on that at all?
None.
Jesus.
Come on, Mike. You, Duggan, proposal end passed. You got money for, again, I'm chasing you. I'm going to see what the feds do about that fraudulent demolition program. There you go, my conservative friends. Everybody gets the business. That's what a reporter is. Pay them. Pay them.
Yeah.
DPS is shutting down this in-person learning starting Monday. Detroit Public Schools. Trying to keep kids healthy and the staff healthy. But it's going to have a devastating effect on working families. Right? Working families, most part, are not rich. What are they going to do with the babies? Yes, in this capitalistic society, it's also a daycare center.
Yeah.
That's why a third of the students are in there. And currently about half the students learning from home aren't checking in.
It's awful.
So I suggest, and it's a two-party problem in Washington. The last stimulus round. Republicans want to do one thing. Pelosi wants this. They want the pork out. We're dying out here. Mm-hmm. Not only they're not going to be presents under the trees, there's going to be no trees, folks. And you know what that means? I tell you what that means. The next piece of news, only on the No Bullshit News Hour, because we work for you. Sunday, we passed a milestone. Unreported, I waited. Want to know what the milestone is?
Yes, I do.
Detroit suffered its 1,000th non-fatal shooting of the year. All of last year, there were about 650. Okay? You see what's going to happen here?
Yeah. It's going to get worse.
It's going to double.
People don't have money. They don't have anything to do.
So this is a lie, man. We're in big trouble. Duggan.
Holes done got deep.
Governor, president-elect, president. What do you think Biden's going to do the first time the first time the American street goes off again. Because it will go off again. Went off many times under Obama. What you going to do, law and order, or let him fucking run?
He claims law and order.
Huh.
We'll see. Huh. Well, yeah. No,
See what I'm saying?
Of course. Law and order was a good thing to run on.
He didn't run on it.
No, I
Hell,
know.
you got to
That's
pay
my
the
point.
law.
Look, and I know, like my working friends, the ones that work 2 jobs, the ones that do the essential jobs.
Yeah.
They're taxing you. I know. I'm not into deficit spending. You all know my libertarian leanings. We don't have it. But we're going to have to run some more debt.
We'll find it. We're
Yeah.
a rich country. Pay the people that do that work.
We're a rich country.
I'll be printing up money all through December to January.
So will the government.
Don't worry, I got my anonymous unemployment cards right here. Just you
And that's
can
why
call
they don't
me
care.
Eric.
Okay.
And what do we
We'll call you
next
E
week?
for short.
What's the one on the next one? What do we call you next week after it's Eric? What other names are we going to have to call you?
Call me Jason.
Jason, all
The
right.
name's not even really original. The girl's name was the most original one I heard.
Oh, and I got to tell you one more thing in here.
Yeah.
Is also Mark at his home address.
Yes.
He getting a dead woman's ballot application.
Of course. Seems like everybody did.
Please don't send it back in. We got enough ballots from dead people.
Red doesn't want to have to track down more dead people.
Yeah, it's not very fun.
Oh, one more thing. Follow up. The Proud Boys are disintegrating. They're breaking up. One wing of them says, no, we don't want Negroes and homosexuals. Thus lending credence to the fact that when we were pounding old Gavin McGinnis, what a phony. Oh, we're just Western chauvinist guys who like to fart on each other and stick dildos up our ass.
Whatever you want to call
Get
it.
lost.
And not come with a woman for 2 months at a time or some shit like that.
What an election season we had.
It was wild.
Proud Boys, like, okay, let's just expose that guy.
Don't they have a march tomorrow in D.C.?
I don't keep track of that. It's your kind of guys.
A Million MAGA March?
Then we had Maurice.
It's not theirs. They're just,
right?
What?
We had Maurice Davis,
Yes.
the vice
King of the Party Blues.
King of the Party Blues, and the 5th man on the conservative Mount Rushmore now, right?
That's right. Yeah.
He went crazy. Made Newsmax a couple times. We got the dead man who voted,
That's right.
and we were actually in Cobo. We're doing good, folks. Hate us if you want, but what do you say, Red? Share.
Share, like, follow, tell a friend. Hey, play it in the car. We don't give a damn. Download it. Screen record it. Bookmark it. Whatever the hell you got to do. When you want no bullshit, come right here. No Bullshit News Hour.
Last
with
one.
Charlie LeDuff.
Last one. Kwame's still not getting out of it.
Show ain't. Nobody brought that up either.
How
Nobody.
did that keep going around?
Kwame's going to do those 26 years. 28, 26, he's doing
Going to
it.
do at least half of them, I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
How'd that one go around? Yeah, I put the kibosh on that one. I had to do it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because, look, before you do that, call the White House. Apparently you got some juice at the White House. No, he's not getting his pardon.
Talk about bullshit.
I wonder
that whole
if
story.
the great Cheeto wishes he would have let him out now. He might have got maybe half
Remember
of
something.
those votes.
This is just a joke, so don't take it as
Yeah.
If the great Cheeto goes down and he wants to get even with Detroit, he just let him out and see what happens. Start some shit.
Mary got reelected.
Look, everybody, hold on to each other. I would hold on to each other. Hold on to each other. Keep it together. I'd love to hold you in my arms. Like honeybees and whatever. Ray's played the fucking song. Hey, there's Luke.
Hey, Luke's back.
Pause. Pause. We got to get Luke on.
Luke just went and closed the deal and came back.
Yeah,
Yeah, look
he
at that.
went and made some money, and now he's back.
That's what he does.
It's like leaving the game on pause and going to the restaurant.
Oh, look, Mark's still there. All right, hold on.
Can we hear
Guys.
Luke now? There he is.
No, mute Mark. Where's Luke? Man, again. Hey, Luke, great seeing you. See you later. Play the
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love.
Put your junk in the camera for all the ladies. They're screaming out there.
Yeah, you must really want Facebook
From the
to take
hydrant.
this down.
I like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me.